in a second, brother. Right, you're now live, so do. Okay, now live. I just need to sort out. I'm going to email you the link and just post it on the thing to say sorry, I'm going to try this one.
How many people are on?
There's only one person watching it, but there might also be another one. So if you just type in the link and then just
Yeah,
But they can see the link. We're now live, so just see.
start?
Yep.
Okay, so welcome to our live cooking class. Sorry about the little glitch that we just had there, but we are now live and we are ready to start making our coconut pizza. So I hope you've all got your ingredients ready. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to start with the base. Now, just to remind you that if you have any questions, just type them into the comment box and I'll look at it as I'm going and answer anything that you might have to need from me. So, the first thing we're going to do is turn on your oven to 180 degrees. Okay, so oven is on. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to make our pizza base. Now, we've got our coconut flour, so I went a little bit crazy in the Tupperware shop today. We're going to weigh out 80 grams of coconut flour. So if everyone just does that now. Ooh, a little bit over. So, scoot back in. Okay, so I can see a few people have just joined. So if you guys have just joined, we're making our base to start with. And the first thing we're going to do is we've turned our oven on for 180 degrees fan and weighed out 80 grams of coconut flour into here. Now, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add in a big pinch of Himalayan salt or Maldon salt if you've got that. Some cracked pepper, where did I have it? I had it earlier. Some cracked pepper and also your dried herbs if you've got any of those. Or you can put some lovely fresh rosemary in there. Kind of whatever you've got lying around in the fridge. I'm going to throw in, because I didn't go to the supermarket today and buy them myself. Ooh, nice. Fennel seeds, that's going to be delicious. Okay, so I'm going to throw a little bit of that in there. So this is going into the base. So this is one of my go-to evening recipes if I have got a craving or need a little bit of a sort of a starchy love in my life. Now, we just want to get a little bowl. And we're going to crack our eggs. So we've got 3 eggs into the bowl. 1, 2, 3. So remember to ask me any questions that you might have as we're going along. I'd love to know how many of you are actually cooking along with me, as it's so cool. We did this about a month ago and it was a lot of fun. So we're just going to whisk up the eggs now. Just beat them up like this. And also going to add our coconut yogurt. Now, if you didn't manage to get coconut yogurt, you can just use normal yogurt. It's fine. So we're going to do 1, 2 tablespoons. You can also use the cream on the top of a can of coconut.
Let's have a look at the questions. Just slow it down.
So, you know, sort of like a normal can of coconut is open because I was using it earlier. You can just sort of sieve off the top if you can't find that. Oh, I've got some comments. Hold on, let me just see.
So hi, Laura.
Okay, so we're just going to mix this together and make sure it's nice and incorporated with no lumps. Because we want to make sure that it's really well mixed in. So mine's ready, and what I'm going to do is I'm now going to add the egg mixture with the yogurt into the coconut flour. So just make a little space. Now what you will find is that the coconut flour will really, really, really absorb everything we've got here. So what we're going to do is just mix it all together and create a really great wet dough. You might think it's really, really too wet, but I promise you it's not. This pizza base can get quite dry if you don't put enough moisture in it. And also, if you don't lay it thin enough, it will also be very dry. So I'm going to give you lots and lots of time to make sure that base is nice and thin, because that is going to be the absolute key to getting a nice crisp base. And then I can answer all your questions then. So if you get a baking tray like this, and just put a piece of baking paper over the top of it, so just move any knives, I'm not going to cut myself in the meantime. Okay, so have a look at the dough. You can see that it's really, really wet, kind of, can you see? It's really squishy. So that's how you want it to be. So I just want to make sure that you're all caught up with me. So the first thing we did, just to recap, is we've turned our ovens on to 180 degrees. We've weighed out 80 grams of coconut flour, and we've added a little bit of salt and some pepper and some whatever dried herbs you've got lying around. And then we've beaten up 3 free-range organic eggs with 2 tablespoons of coconut yogurt or normal yogurt. Or I explained that you could use the top of a can of coconut milk. And I've got someone coming in with pieces of paper. Okay, my top is very, very old, about 3 years ago from Zara. So make sure you ask me any comments about cooking or clothes I'm wearing or whatever you like. Okay. So then what we did is we added the egg and the coconut mixture in with the flour, and we've made our dough. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to slam it down here. Now, this is not the sort of the normal way of making dough. I'm going to put my hair up because I know I'm going to end up with hair in my food, and it's not the best thing. My husband refuses to eat it if he finds hair in it. I don't know what the problem is. It's more protein, I say. Anyway, so literally just put our dough onto the baking paper, and we're going to push it out with our fingers all the way to the edge. Now, this is the most important part of this recipe. You must get it really, really thin. If you don't get it thin, it means it's going to be dry, and you're going to be blaming me for a dry pizza recipe, and I promise you it's not my fault. So we really, really must get it thin. So I'm going to show you how thin it needs to be in 1 second. So I'm going to lift this up now. So what kind of herbs do I recommend? So just mixed dried herbs is great, or rosemary is absolutely delicious. I just put some fennel seeds in there. Anything that's dried coriander. I think really it's about what you've got on your spice rack and just chucking it in. Even some ground cumin or ground coriander is absolutely delicious. And that question was from Linda. Okay, so let me just show you. I'm going to lift this up so you can just literally see how thin this is. So, I hope this is kind of easy to see. You can see how thin it is. It's kind of, if you put your finger, oh look, I can lift a piece up, here we go. That is how thin you need to get the pastry. I know it's thin, but you can do it, I promise. It will make all the difference to your pizza. So the easiest way to do it is the kind of little technique that when you push it down, you kind of spread your fingers. So you kind of push and spread, and it really helps to spread it out throughout on the baking tray. So this is going to just take a little while. So if you keep asking me lots of questions, then I can answer them. Otherwise, I'm just sort of going to gabble on about not a lot. I saw there was a question earlier from Miss Beautylicious, what a fabulous name. And she's asked me what foods are best to eat for anxiety and stress and well-being. Well, anxiety and stress can come from so many different situations, but lots of calming foods, nothing that's going to make you too anxious is the number one key. So I always have, if I'm feeling a bit stressed, Really nice thing to have at night is chamomile tea. Sort of stay away from things that are kind of going to stimulate you. So things like turmeric is one to stay away from, green tea, any caffeine, anything like that. Things that sort of make you calmer. Things, actually this recipe is really great for it because it's really good complex carbohydrates. So a really good one to have before you go to bed. And general well-being, well, green leafy vegetables definitely for well-being. Okay, sorry, I was just checking a message. Green leafy vegetables for general well-being. One of the things that I always say to people is if you can add one green thing to your diet every single day, that is the best place to start. So if you could start with a green smoothie, that's the best thing. Or I'm really excited. Okay, so this just arrived today. It is our brand new Alkaline Super Boost powder. So this is green, this is full of maca, spirulina, moringa, wheatgrass and chlorella. It's all certified organic. And yeah, it's adding that to your smoothie or to your water bottle every single day is a fantastic way to add in your greens to your daily dose of goodness. But if you can't manage to sort of get a green juice or a green smoothie for whatever reason, a big leafy bowl of greens with your lunch each day is a fantastic way to start. It really, really depends on anything that works for you and fits into your schedule. So I'm just going to answer a few questions. People are asking if they can see the video again. Yes, it will be on the channel afterwards. And the recipe, yes, is on our website, honestlyhealthyfood.com. It's called coconut pizza if you just put it into the search bar. Okay, so how many of you are cooking along with me and you have done your pizza base now? Because mine is pretty ready to go into the oven. And I just want to make sure that you're all keeping up with me if you are cooking along, which is really fun to do. What better thing to do on a Monday night, huh? Okay, so mine is going to go into the oven. My pizza base is done. You can see the kind of size of it. It's nice and thin. You can always go thinner with these if you have the time and you want to sit there and play around. So this is now going to go into the oven, 180 degrees, and we're going to do it for 15 minutes. I'm just going to wash my hands quickly. Oh, sorry about my messy kitchen. Are all the coconut flours, so Teardrop 362, you've asked me, are all the coconut flours the same, and is there a brand you recommend? I found that all the coconut flours that I have found are the same. So I'm just putting our clock on here for 15 minutes, because it's always the best way to have a little timer. Today I'm using something called Biona, but there's also a great brand called Tiana. And they're the organic ones. Biona, I find, is the cheapest one, and it's just as good as all the other ones. To be honest, I probably think they come from the same factory, just with a different packaging on it. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we are going to make our tomato sauce. Now, I'm really excited about you learning how to do this, because this is the perfect and very, very quick pasta sauce recipe as well. So brilliant for kids, fantastic for pizza toppings, brilliant for pasta, adding to rice, adding to quinoa, whatever it is, and it takes 15 minutes. You can also freeze it, so you can do a massive batch, keep it in the freezer, and all you have to do is defrost it, which is even better. So when people are really stressed and with no time whatsoever, they can get just have something in the freezer. So, any more questions, ask away. So this is a rather humongous piece of garlic I have here. But we're going to have a piece of garlic, and I'm going to put the whole thing in because I have a coughing and spluttering husband next door that seems to be coming down with something, so I'm going to make him eat all of it. So we've got a red onion. So just to recap, we're now going on to the sauce, the tomato sauce, which can be used as a pasta sauce as well. Frozen, which helps with time management as well and staying healthy. So I'm going to show you a few little knife skills here if you want to have a go. First thing we're going to do is we're going to chop the onion in half like this. Make sure that the root stays intact because this is going to keep it all together. So what we're going to do is literally slice up to the root, but not through the root. So as you can see, it's like this. So I've not actually gone through the root. The reason being is then I'm going to very carefully, fingers back, slice down there. So you've sliced sort of down across now. And then I'm going to slice this way. And what happens is you get perfect little dices of onion. So a really quick and simple way to chop onion. So I'm going to quickly just do the other half now as well. And you can also do this with the garlic. So make sure you ask me any questions if you've got any questions if we're going along. So I hope you're all cooking along with me and your pizza bases are in the oven and smelling delicious because mine is just starting to. So I'm just going to slice up the garlic as well. If you like big slices of garlic, you can slice them that way as well. It's totally up to you how you like your garlic tasting. If you're cooking this for kids and they don't like garlic, they don't like onion, you can leave it out. It's not a big deal. I'm just going to show you the way to reduce it, which is the best trick on the planet, with actually for soups, stews, anything like that. Okay, so we've got a little bit of sunflower oil. Hey, Hannah. Okay, so teaspoon of sunflower oil, or if you want to use coconut oil, you can. Please don't use olive oil. The reason I don't cook with olive oil is because you can't take it to a high temperature. The reason being is it's a very unstable oil, and it turns into a trans fat, which is very, very, well, impossible for the body to break down. So I've got a very fancy new non-stick pan, which is apparently, it's completely green and eco as well, which is very exciting. So I'm going to throw in the garlic and the onion. So I've sliced up the garlic and the onion, well, I've diced it up actually, and I've put a teaspoon of sunflower oil into a pan with, and now added the onion and garlic. So while that's simmering away, what I'm going to do is slice up, I know the recipe says cherry tomatoes, but I didn't get cherry tomatoes. Well, I did, but I need them for my shoot tomorrow. So you can use any tomatoes, just chop them up, make sure they're nice and diced. The smaller you dice them, the quicker it'll cook. Okay, so here's a great trick. As it's starting to sizzle away and the oil starts to get absorbed, one of the things that I always do is I always have water next to me at all times. So I'm just going to turn this down to a medium heat now. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to add little splashes of water. So I'm going to add 3 tablespoons of water. And you can hear it sizzle when you do that. Now what it's doing is, firstly, it's cooling down the pan. And then secondly, it's also creating this amazing like stock in the bottom, which creates the most delicious flavour for our tomato sauce. Okay, so I've got enough tomatoes here. So if you were making this and you wanted to make like triple the tomato sauce, That's a brilliant thing to do, because then you can just keep some in the fridge for the rest of the week, and it's a great way to sort of batch cook. Batch cooking is one of the best things that I find helps me stay healthy. Okay, so the water has started to absorb again. So what I'm going to do is I'm now going to add my tomatoes. So just to sort of recap, what I've done is we've put some garlic, chopped garlic and onion into a pan with some sunflower oil, sauteed it for about a minute, and then added 3 tablespoons of water to help create a delicious stock. And then I've added some chopped tomato. You can use any type of tomato, but I always find that if they're on the vine, they taste so much better and they taste much more fragrant. You know, when you go abroad and you go to Europe, they just taste so much better and they just have time to mature on the vine and really get that flavour. So if you can buy vine tomatoes, I find that they are the tastiest ones out there. So I'm just going to let that sort of reduce slightly for a few minutes. I'm getting sort of little sheets of paper coming in. So, does anyone have any questions? What are your hardest things on how to stay healthy? Because I can help you come up with some great ideas. What are your sort of your biggest downfalls in staying healthy and sort of staying on track? What's the hardest thing for you? Would it be breakfast? Is it dinners? Is it lunches? Do you entertain a lot? Do you work really long hours? Is it the kids that sort of bring it down because you're cooking for them? Sometimes a lot of people have always said to me that breakfast is their biggest issue. Someone said to me the other day, I have 2 to 5 minutes to make my breakfast in the morning and then I'm out the door. And I turned around and I said, that's fine, not a problem. I can create a breakfast in 2 to 5 minutes for you. So actually, it's a great way to show you how to do this. Hi Linda, I see you say lunches. Give me 2 seconds and I'll talk to breakfast and then I'll go lunches. So what I do is I get my blender and just before I go to bed, I will put all my ingredients for a green smoothie in here with the water, put the lid on and stick it in the fridge. I won't blend it up, I'll just put it in the fridge. Then, in the morning, I come downstairs, get it out of the fridge, blend it up, and put it into a bottle and take it with me to work. It literally takes about 1.5 to 2 minutes to sort that out in the morning, which is a really great way to sort of stay healthy, because that is really a meal in itself. It really is a meal in itself. And you can put oats in there, all your superfood blends, everything. So Linda's saying about lunches. Okay, so lunches. So if anyone's getting to that point where they're making their pasta sauce and all the water is really now becoming absorbed, what we're going to do is add some more water. So we're going to probably add about 1/4 cup to that with a nice pinch of salt and some pepper as well. So Linda, I'm going to answer your question about lunches. One of the best things to do is, if you're not prepared, like on the weekend for the week ahead, it's the biggest way to sort of fail, unfortunately. So now Downton Abbey's on, X Factor, stick it on in the background. Sunday night, if you have kids, make sure they're in bed, or get them involved even. They love to cook. Like, all the kids that I've ever cooked with have absolutely loved it. Roast up loads of vegetables. So literally do like 3 different trays of veggies. If you eat meat, roast up a chicken. Make 3 different salad dressings. Either cook some pulses, or actually I'm going to show you these. I bought these today from the health food shop, Planet Organic, but you can get them online as well. They're pre-cooked lentils and quinoa, and I just keep these in my cupboard at all times because I can be very lazy and not be bothered to cook. And I literally just rip those open and add them to vegetables and put a lovely dressing over the top of it. And it really, really is a fantastic way to prepare your lunch. You can stick avocado on there, you can put anything, put loads of lettuce on the top. That's a great way to sort of like prepare ahead. And then the night before, you assemble a different type of salad every single night. So if you've got roasted sweet potatoes with some poi lentils, a little bit of quinoa in there, some rocket thrown in with a nice tahini dressing, that's actually really quick and simple to do. Very, very quick and simple. Now it's becoming winter, soups are really great, stews, batch cook them and freeze them down in portion-sized bags. So you know, I'm not sure if I've got any here. So you can get freezer bags and you literally put a portion size into a freezer bag and stick it in the freezer. So literally when you get home, if it's just one of you or two of you having dinner, you can literally just take it out, pop it into a pan with a little splash of water in the bottom, and it will be a perfect way to have dinner. Pour it over the top of some pre-cooked rice or some quinoa like over there I just showed you. And it's a really simple way to have some good dinners. Whenever I cook curry, I cook loads of it and I just batch cook it and put it in the freezer. Okay, so I'm going to take my coconut pizza out of the oven because it's ready. And you can see here that it's slightly brown around the edges and it's nice and golden in the center. So it's now ready for our pasta sauce, which will be done in about 5 minutes, just in time to answer Saba. Are smoothies good for winter months? Yes, they are. I've got an also, do you know what? It's funny because last winter, well, it was probably in January, February time, I felt like I wanted something warm in the morning, but I didn't want to have porridge because I was bored of porridge. So what I did, instead of having cold water in the smoothie, I put hot water in it. So it actually becomes a warm smoothie. It's really, really nice. So the recipe for that is actually on the website. It's called a warm protein smoothie. So if you go to honestlyhealthyfood.com and type into the search bar, warm protein smoothie, you can have a look at that. And yes, you know, something a nutritionist said to me once, she said, as long as you warm the furnace first before you put your food in the winter, you'll be okay. So for example, if you want to have salads and things, just having a small cup of soup or a cup of tea first before you have your soup or smoothie or anything like that is a great way to warm yourself up before you have it, just to help with the digestion. So I'm just adding a little more splash of water to the pasta sauce because I just want it a little bit more soft. And Tara has said, what are good lunches for school? So Tara, how old is your little one or ones? Because it completely depends what they like, really. Are they adventurous? Will they have things like quinoa? Or one of the great things is actually you can see right below, below the chat, it says kids lunches, honestly healthy pancakes. So we've done, there's about 4 or 5 recipes actually on our YouTube channel for kids lunches. And one of the things that I love to do is make pancakes and use them as like gluten-free wraps instead of gluten-free wraps, for example. So because you can pack loads of veggies with them. So the green pancakes have got loads and loads of spinach in them. You could also put things like beetroot in them and make them pink. So if they want pink pancakes to take for lunch rather than green ones, you can put peppers in them to make them a sort of orange colour. You can put tomatoes in them to make it red. So it's actually quite nice alternative rather than just setting them off with a sandwich. Also, you can do pesto pasta. I know it sounds very boring, but actually you can pack loads of veggies into pesto. So I always put loads of fresh raw spinach and avocado into the pesto and mix it through gluten-free pasta. That's a really great alternative. Does that answer your question, Linda? Because I can go on and on and on. Okay, so my pasta sauce is ready. I'm not sure about yours. I'm not sure how many of you are actually cooking along with me or not. But you can see that it's like this. Now you can keep going. You can add chili in there if you wanted. And this is a fantastic base for your pizza, but also for any pasta dish you have as well. So I'm just going to spread that onto my pizza, sort of letting yourself have a little bit of an edge as well of the pizza. And I'm going to put some grated goat's cheese over the top. So I've got the hard goat's cheese, which is like cheddar. Tara. Okay, so make sure you ask me any questions because we're nearly done. So putting some goat's cheese over the top. You can also use the soft goat's cheese as well, but remember that it won't sort of spread and melt as evenly, but it is absolutely delicious still as well. If you're vegan and you don't want to use goat's cheese, or you really don't like having dairy at all, you can make a lovely pesto to put over the top as well. So we can put some mushrooms on as well. So just slice up some mushrooms, but before you put them on, just drizzle them with olive oil. A little bit of olive oil. Sorry, sunflower oil. My mistake. And put them over the top. And I'm actually going to put a little bit of avocado. I know it might sound really weird putting avocado on pizza, but I loved cooked avocado. It's such a great way to get your good fats in there, but also it really helps to stop you getting hungry later on. A lot of people have porridge in the morning and they don't understand why they get hungry an hour later. It's because oats are really like sugar seen by the body. So if you don't put some sort of good fat in there as well, that's going to help sustain your energy, then you are going to carry on getting hungry. So things like coconut oil in porridge in the morning is a great one, but also avocado. I don't know if you've tried my avocado peach porridge. It's pretty delicious, I can promise you. And also things like nut butters you can put in there as well. I've got an amazing avocado birch muesli on the website as well. So I'm just going to chuck this into the oven just to melt, but it's kind of melted already. Just for a couple of seconds. Just let the mushrooms cook off as well, probably about 3 to 4 minutes, while I answer any more questions that you guys might have. And so that's another great one for breakfast actually, if you haven't got a lot of time, is birch muesli. If you make it on a Sunday night, you can actually make enough for 4 or 5 days. The longer you leave it in the fridge, the sweeter it becomes, the more delicious it becomes. And you can put it into little Tupperware and take it with you to work if you want to eat at your desk as well. So, my pizza is in the oven. It's nearly done. So just to recap what we did, because I know I've been talking for ages. The first thing we did was we preheated the oven and we weighed out 80 grams of coconut flour, beat up 3 eggs with 2 tablespoons of coconut yogurt, or you can use normal yogurt. Mix that together with the coconut flour with some salt, pepper and dried herbs. Made our dough, so into a ball. And then we lined a big tray with some baking paper and squashed it all down to make the pizza base. And made sure it was really, really thin, so 2 millimeters thin. 2 millimeters thin. and put it in the oven 15 minutes. While it was in the oven, we made the tomato sauce to go over the top. So showed you a couple of fun little tricks with the how to chop garlic and onion, how to dice it. So a teaspoon of sunflower oil with the garlic and onion, with 3 splashes of water to help create that delicious stock. Then we've added the chopped tomatoes, left it to simmer for about 1 to 2 minutes, and then added half a cup of water and left that to simmer. That literally takes about 15 minutes, the perfect amount of time while your pizza is in the oven. Get your base out, pour it over the top, the sauce over the top of the base, and then put whatever toppings you want on the top. And then mine is back in the oven, and it's going to be done in a couple of seconds, and I'm going to have dinner. And Linda has asked me what pans to use. I just found these. They're called Scan Pan. I was having all sorts of trouble with all these eco pans. The actual surface came away very quickly. I've tried quite a few of them, and I've been really, really unimpressed with them, especially Green Pan. They're terrible. They are not worth the money, to be very honest. Mine lasted all of 3 to 4 months, and I know I cook a lot, so let's say it would last you 8 months, but for the price, it's just not really worth it in my opinion. And I found these ones about 7 months ago, and they are brilliant. They are eco and green as well. They're ceramic, but they're the best ceramic pan that I've ever used, because they are really, really non-stick. They're fantastic. And I also use Le Creuset, and then just a normal steel pan as well. And Laura, only just seen the new link, have we missed it? Don't worry, Laura, you can watch it back, and also the recipe is on the website, so you can make it as well. How do you spell the name of the pans? Oh my god, that's hot. Scan, S-C-A-N-P-A-N, Scan Pans. Yeah, so I just buy them from a little shop on Westbourne Grove actually, but I'm sure you can get them online. Any more questions before I get my pizza out the oven and I say goodnight and I go and put the telly on? Oh, and obviously remember to pre-order my Alkaline Superfood Boost blend. It's just arrived today. I personally didn't, but drove up to Wales to pick it up because we had over 100 people pre-order it. So we had to go and literally get it off the line to bring it down today. I can't believe I actually got it in my hand. It's so exciting. It's packed full of maca, spirulina, moringa, wheatgrass and chlorella. It's fantastic. Stick it in your smoothies, put it into water, put it into your soups. And if you want free shipping before Wednesday, hold it still, sorry. Very overexcited. If you want free shipping, you need to order it before Wednesday. It's $14.99 on our website. And what's the code?
Free shipping.
Oh, the code is free shippy. SHIPPY, free shippy. And that's before Wednesday, so make sure you order that. And we're putting it as a discount as well. And anyone else or feel like self-conscious? What do you do when you've had a bad day or feel self-conscious? Have a hot bath and have a cup of tea and hide away from the world. I normally go to the gym. That always really, really helps me out. I've started running, which really, really clears my head. I absolutely love it. I'm not great at running, and I definitely don't run for a huge amount of time. I probably do half an hour to 45 minutes. But I find that really helps me because it makes me feel better. It gets the endorphins pumping. If you eat good food and you do exercise, the endorphins will start coming through and it will make you feel better at the same time. Do you have any other questions? Because my pizza's coming out the oven. Oh, it's looking good. Okay, pizza is for dinner. I'm going to quickly get some herbs out fridge, so be 1 second. I've got some fresh parsley that I'm going to chop over the top because it's full of iron, it's good for you, and it tastes absolutely delicious. And there is my coconut flour pizza. So if you missed it, you can head over to our website, honestlyhealthyfood.com. Coconut pizza, type it into the search bar and it will come up. That's the recipe that you can use. And you'll be able to watch this again. Okay, one last question. Tara, what made you want to eat healthy? My story is that I come from a foodie family. I actually come from a family of restaurateurs, and I love food. I've been taught to love food and eat food and enjoy every last minute of it. However, I never felt very good when I ate the food in my father's restaurants because it was French and very heavy. However, my mum is a celiac and also doesn't eat or drink dairy. And she hasn't done for about 15 years, 20 years maybe. So always when I was with my mum, there were very, very healthy alternatives in the house. So I always felt great, but her cooking was dreadful and I hated the taste of it. Whereas when I was with my dad, I loved the taste of it, but I felt dreadful. And my godmother Vicky, who I wrote my first 2 books with, Vicky Edgerton, who's a nutritionist, she's always been a massive influence on my life, and I had issues with eating for very, very many years. Yo-yo dieted my entire life, and it just wasn't until one day I was like, I've had enough, I feel awful. I was sort of 3.5 stone overweight. I had polycystic ovaries, I had terrible skin, I was constantly bloated, I was exhausted, I had no energy. And I kind of went, right, okay, it's time to look at this. And I was cooking for some clients and I hurt my back and went to see an Ayurvedic doctor, and he was the one that got me onto alkaline eating. And then I turned to my godmother and said, do research, teach me, learn more. And that is really, in a very short nutshell, how I got into it. And it really was, it started to make me feel better. I got rid of my polycystic ovaries in 3 months. I've lost all the weight and kept it off. And it never was a challenge. It was always just very easy, because every diet that I've ever done was always told me that I couldn't have all the things that I loved. So because I'm a foodie, I used to be a very all or nothing type of person. And it wasn't until I saw this Ayurvedic doctor, he said to me, if you get a sweet craving, you can have this banana muffin. It's gluten-free, it's got no sugar in it, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I tasted it, and it tasted like cardboard. It was revolting. However, it made me realise, because I can cook, I thought, well, I could make a much tastier version. So if I'm allowed to have those things, but without the refined sugars and flours and stuff, I can still enjoy all the food. So, for example, if you want to eat a pizza, here's a healthy alternative. If you want to have a brownie, have a brownie, but here's a healthier version. So I suppose that's how it all started, and it's just grown from there, and it was a big mistake. I never thought in a million years I would get into food, ever. But I love it, and the great thing is through what I enjoy doing, I get to inspire so many other people to make massive changes and positive influences in their lives. So anyway, I've been babbling along. Thank you so much all for watching, and remember, if you want to order this and you want to get free shipping, go to our website, honestlyhealthyfood.com, and when you go into the checkout, put free Shippy, SHIPPY, and you'll get it sent to you in the next few days. And I hope you have a wonderful Monday evening and your week is inspired, full of love and goodness. And I'm going to go and have my dinner now. Anyway, I'll see you soon.